Spartans finest, and we are back making another video just because I have the time. Look at that, guys. Highest leaderboard position reached, number 41, and even though it's hours from our peak time, you can see we're not that far out. What's that, about 400, 350 even from being in the permanent top 50. You can see we are literally on the threshold. 19,886. If we pick up a 1250 today, we'll go over 20,100 even. So we seriously could be somewhere in the middle 30s here with a win. Which, not to put the horse before the cart, we stand a fair chance of picking up the win today. It's early, but this is definitely one we could maybe pick the win up on. So yesterday we did not quite get the win, but as you can see there, 1133, we got more points than we would have had we won curtain call. So that is always a good result. It's really about points at this level. Because even the teams who are ranked in the 30s and 40s, right there with us, who are running dead end nonstop, they're not winning all of their dead ends. It's really about just getting the most points we can. So let's dive right into yesterday's action, starting with bunk on dioxin. We'll go quad till he gets to the danger zone. Clearing mines, like just about everything. Dioxin, Waterloo, some of these bases have a preferred walking path, preferred flare points, which as long as you hit them spot on each and every time, you can just kind of rinse and repeat. You can see here, bunk, I think bunk takes about 85% of this, and can't remember how much exactly was on it. Let's see there. Oop. 249. Yeah, I can't exactly remember. So that's 502. Maybe there was like 1.4 on that. I know in Angry there's a way to determine how much is on a base just by looking at the building health. And I think it's whatever the percentage is. So let's call that 500 becomes 1,000,000. And then, 2 for the core. So maybe that was 1.2. I'll figure that out. Somebody maybe in the comments can remark on how you can actually figure that out after the fact. Pardon me, guys. Still just a little bit not at peak health here. Next up, SD on Axiom. This is one of SD's favorites. Looking like 3 shocks. 1, 2 rockets. Ooh. A little bit late getting the rockets shocked. Proved a little on the costly side there. Still got half the core. Actually, even a little bit more than half the core, 60%. But yeah, a little bit late on the rocket shock there. Okay, so 747, double that's 15, so 1.7, if that math is correct. So 1.7, and took nearly a mil, and that's with losing some. Whoops, sorry about that. All right, next up is Adam on Phobos, and Adam obviously is one of our 2 or 3 just literally best guys. Always a precision hit, almost always a solo, unless it's an absolute just gargantua. Okay, gonna pick up 15 extra GBE there, or maybe 24. Very nice. Intermediate flare point. See, what's lovely about Adam is he has some of the best smoke spacing of any of us. some of us, and I'm talking about myself, we'll do a little bit too much overlap. We call it for safety, but, we are burning extra GBE here to do that. Look at that. Rocket. And I know that's what SD was trying to do on the previous attack, is because if you can keep the delay, you can get an extra second before you have to throw that shock on the rockets, which buys you that extra second on the back end. But obviously you do have to get that just right, because if the rockets do fire, and most of us who don't have troop health, those Zooks will vanish pretty quick. Like literally each rocket will take out a couple dozen. So it's really about timing there. Next up, Achilles. Excuse me. Finishing off Axiom. Okay, no extra GBE to mine. But certainly, with only half the core to take, this should, and I know it did, drop pretty fast. Intermediate flare point. Let's speed up this walk. Same position as SD. Drop it back normal speed. Same 3 shocks. Morts. Flames. Rockets. 1, 2. Oh, didn't do the flames. Yeah, the flames, the range on that, it's pretty much a judgment call on that, I guess. The key was getting the rockets, and like I say, with only half that core to take, that was going to drop pretty nice and easy. Next up, Booty. Bootius Maximus on Mino. Okay, so clearing the mines. Now this is I love this beach flare technique. So because of the range of these 2 mortars, and even though they're just out of it, intermediate flare point, kill zone flare point, and then the shocking 3 precision shocks on that bank of RLs, 1 for the flames, and that mortar behind. You see that? You see these top rockets? See how he had that fraction of an extra delay getting those, and then once the rockets fire, it's over. But took half. I think Booty even said, I think this mortar might have got a couple of girls on the way up, or that could have been even a little bit more. Let's use our technique. So 820 would be 164. So this core had 1.84 maybe on it. I'll research that, and somebody in the comments below will figure out the way to do it. I think that's right, though. Anyway, so, but yeah, then there's a subsequent hit on Mino, and here it is. So even though, okay, I won't speed this up. So even though the range should be okay, by doing it this way, you keep them nice and low. You keep the ladies outside of the range of either set of mortars until it's time to walk up. And then you see the flare is low into the water, and I'll just leave that up there, and you'll see the girls, for the most part, will stay just outside of the range of the mortars. And by the time it fires, they're gone. And now here's the one. Smoke. Ooh, okay. So so I think the same thing happened to Bix that happened to Booty, which is that this first smoke on the beach definitely has to be there, because you guys saw the range thing. And again, guys, I'm not disrespecting putting down either of the attacks. These are far better players than I am. Just kind of showing, for those of you who are watching this, is kind of a learn from the pros what to do in a similar attack. You'll definitely want to have that first smoke right on the shore, because that mortar, with the speed of the girls cannot outrun that mortar. So the 3 shocks, and then you see there too, just a fraction, and Mike knows I'm not putting them down here, but just a fraction late on those FTs, and sure enough, there was a little bit of sustained losses there. So, and this is a tough base. I mean, shoot, I had the opportunity to hit it, and I passed on it. I mean, I was like, especially being the worst player on the team, I was like, oh boy. But the champs rose up and didn't end up going down on the next one. Okay, here is King on Commandor. I think this is all Zooks and Brick, which it is. Using Brick to clear those last bit of mines. Low smoke. Flare the core, 3 shocks, MGs, FTs, and that shock launcher. There. And with Brick, that core is going to go down quite quickly. Yep. So, very nicely done there. Every solo is. Next up, I finished off Dioxin, and there, like I said, there wasn't much there. Now I've been having a bunch of crap-tastic attacks lately, of which this one almost qualified. You can see that was just poor. I threw the extra smoke because I wanted to make sure I got my flare point right, and kept it tight, which I didn't because 2 of them peeked out there. And you can see there my spacing compared to someone like Adams is not quite as precise. I mean, that wasn't atrocious, but again, guys, I'm self-acknowledged worst guy on the team. Little bit late. See, even I was a little bit late getting that MG shot, so I lost a couple dozen girls more than I needed to. But again, when you're the second guy bringing it down, I mean, yeah, you have the pressure of having to make sure the base is annihilated. But when you're only talking about getting less than half the core, since, you know, almost every one of us is rolling, you know, 4 boosted troop damage statues on top of the brick boost, so the damage flies quick when you're thinking of, oh, I have less than 1 million, or like in my case, certainly less than 500,000. The precision need of execution is less. Okay, so let's do this again. 3rd hit on Mino. But I think Juicers, and again, all due respect to the previous 2 guys, I think Juicers really got his smoking right. Because I don't believe he loses anybody. Like, I think the smoke comes out as soon as he goes up, and the girls stay protected. But, yeah, okay, so there it is. So Juicers saw the previous 2, knew... Okay, so what, maybe 1? Nobody. See, and that was the key, and that's the great thing about not being first, is you can learn from what the previous guys did. So, and Juicers had that beach smoke, which the other guys didn't have. And again, that's not a critique. We thought it was going to be okay. Juicers comes in after watching previous hits, and that's a real big key, guys, is watch and learn from your teammates. Now, we happen to have some of the very finest players literally in the world, which is why this team is currently ranked 41st. Okay, so nice smoking. RLs. 5 beautiful shocks. The FT came early. Excuse me. And that was a big key, getting that FT, because they are right there. You know, you got a fraction of a second delay before those rockets turn and fire. So getting the FT, which stands right next to those girls, that's I think that's where his first shock went. And in my humble opinion, probably where the first shock needs to go. Super nice by Juicers there. And let's be honest, that was nice by all the guys. That's certainly a tough hit. You gotta hit those shock points. Last up was SD on Quick Charge. And Quick Charge, this is a tough base to solo. It just is. You know, there was the debatable point. You know, it's like, oh, do we go for the solo? Do we just farm for points? Because obviously, the myriad of power cells up there meant if you didn't intend the solo, you know, you could probably pick up, you know, 60 or 70 force points just by getting everything up in this top range that's outside of the range of these rockets and whatnot. And again, apologies on the coughing, guys. 70-hour weeks are a little bit rough on the old body at my age. Okay, so nice walk. No mines were tripped. Couple intermediate flare points gapped up right between the RLs and that machine gun, which is the worry. Marked them. Double shock and clear. Took spark for the universal remote. Okay, so everything's looking good at this point. Yeah, he's losing a few to the cannons. Clearing this out. And then, yep, that looks good. Once again, guys, apologies on the coffin. Hopefully that doesn't pick up too much on camera. Yeah, I see about the, yeah, I was just gonna say I probably should have, be flaring the core pretty soon, because I think for SD this was literally about just running out of time. He had a fair amount of girls left. Now let's see here. 1, 2, yeah, so 3 defenses with range on the girls. One of them just went down there, and so now okay, so to try to get them out. And then, yeah, now he's got a handful of girls who weren't actually firing on the core. Yeah, that's just a tough break there. Ooh, and then he lost a few there. So in hindsight, and Ralph knows this, one of the premier players on the team, but if we do next time we get this chance, maybe one less reflare, because you do lose a few seconds there. One less reflare, and if he hadn't lost just those 8 to 10 girls, because that shield literally is gone. And then how long would it take? Let's see. So 375 makes 750, so that the core itself has 900, or 950, if my math is right. So 950 on the core. So once that shield dropped, yeah, he would have needed less than 10 seconds to drop that. Well, maybe with that many girls, about 10 seconds, but that was close. 38 points, certainly a good effort. And like I say, Ralph knows this, SD knows this, This is not me, being all on my high horse, like, oh, here's what didn't go right about the attack. Because like I say, I'm self-acknowledged more F-ups on my attacks than anybody on the team. But, part of the reason for this is so that other guys maybe on non-top 50 teams can perhaps learn from some things we're doing right or doing wrong, and everybody just improves their skill set that way. So let's take it back here. 51st, like I say, just outside of the perennial top 50. And certainly if we pick up another 1250, which I'm going to cautiously think we might, that would put us up into the 20,100 range, which, depending on how these teams shake out, you could definitely see us moving up from position 41 where we peaked yesterday. So we're coming, guys. Let's just look at this guy. First guy in the top 20. See, and they're just doing curtain call. Resistance 10, dead end, yeah. So 37% success on dead end in the last 30 days. And where are we at? Whoop. Let me learn how to use this. Oh, there it is, 27. So yeah, we're kind of right there. If we pick up the win today, you can see kind of more recent history. If we should somehow get this would be 2 out of 3, 4 out of 8 potentially. Excuse me, 4 out of 9, 10. Yeah, so we're in that 30-something percentage if we can get the win today. But the key too is 11:33 yesterday. 3 days ago, 11:45. That's better than winning a curtain call. So, and even the 10:60, the 10:32 you see there, you know, that's better than winning a choke point. And so we're definitely locked in at dead end. It is certainly the right degree of difficulty for this squad right now. Okay, guys, a little bit longer today. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.